How's it going, everyone? It is me, Stateside here, and we've got a new video today. We're going to be doing our Premier League prediction, the most important video of the year, because I'm going to get all 20 teams and their exact position in the table 100% correct. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to get right into it. Here we go. Starting off in last place, I think there's only one team really I can put here, and they may pull a Bournemouth and embarrass everyone again. I've got Luton Town going down here this season in 20th rock bottom position. I don't see how a team of that size can stay up. I think that they've made a good step in the right direction. I think they could be a team that, comes back in a few years to the Premier League, but I'm not sure that they'll be staying up this season. If they do stay up, I will be very, very surprised. I see them anywhere from 18th to 20th this season. As for the next position going down, I'm going to go with Wolverhampton Wanderers. I don't think they've made really any improvements. They've lost Ruben Neves. I think they lost João Moutinho as well. Pedro Neto could still be out the door. Raul Jimenez is gone. I really don't know. They just lost their manager as well, which is really why they're 19th and not 18th. I almost felt like putting them 20th just because I feel like they're going to be just that bad this season. It's going to be a really rough season for Wolverhampton Wanderers fans. Good luck to you guys this season, because it's going to be a rough ride. And moving along to our last team to get relegated, this one's going to be willed by Austin Trusty. Instead of finishing rock bottom, Sheffield United are going to finish 18th because of Austin Trusty. Telling you that signing is going to make the world of difference, and I'm totally not being sarcastic whatsoever. But in all seriousness, Sheffield United is my last team to go down. Those are my bottom three. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree on those. Obviously, down in the comment section. Up next, team just surviving relegation, West Ham United, and this is based on the assumption that is looking more and more likely of Lucas Paqueta moving on for West Ham. They've already need to replace, obviously, a player in Declan Rice, and now they could be losing another one. Yeah, they're bringing in a lot of money, but they got to spend that money. They got to reinvest that into the squad to really make a difference. Jared Bowen's really the only player of note in that squad at this point. Gianluca Scamacca's already left. Kurt Zuma could potentially leave. I could see if they're struggling again, and then they've also got European competitions. If you don't have depth for that, you're screwed. I just don't see how West Ham can do that. I think the only reason David Moyes is in charge right now is because of his European run, that he's earned that opportunity to come back this season. But other than that, I don't see how they can possibly stay up. Another team I could see doing just surviving relegation in 16th position is going to be Everton. I think Sean Dyche has got kind of a foundation set to start rebuilding Everton. They're linked with Hugo Ekitike. I think it's Ekitike of PSG. I think that would be a wonderful signing. I almost said horrendous, but I meant wonderful. Just an excellent signing all around. I think he'd be a good striker for them. An exciting player as well. Not just a good player, an exciting one. They're a PSG French striker, not named Kylian Mbappe, sadly, for Everton fans. Sadly for any fan base, really. But he will not be. Could be going to Everton, which I think could actually project them into like a 12th place finish rather than a 16th place finish. Up next, we've got AFC Bournemouth in the 15th position. I think Bournemouth will do just enough to survive this season. I think they made a good decision by getting rid of their manager. I think he was very fortunate to keep them up last season. I do think that maybe you can argue that he deserved an opportunity to stick around, but I don't think he's good enough to be a Premier League manager. I think they would have just ended up sacking him later into the season anyways. So I think it was a good decision all around to go ahead and start fresh. New ownership, might as well go ahead and take care of that while you still can. Up next, another team that got promoted with Bournemouth and Nottingham Forest. I think they survive again as well. Matt Turner's an excellent goalkeeper signing, in my opinion. Definitely no American bias there. You can't even see the Pulisic behind me. Definitely no American bias there in the slightest. Or you could just look at my name on YouTube and know that's definitely is the case. But whatever. But I think Nottingham Forest finish a comfortable position outside of the relegation battle, but still lower mid-table this season. In the 14th spot, we've got Burnley, the last team that got promoted this season. Burnley, I think that Vincent Kompany is doing an excellent job there. I think they've got a very good base coming up, a younger base than what they had when they got relegated. They obviously cleared out quite a bit and rebuilt under Vincent Kompany. I think they've done an excellent job. I think that Burnley are going to stay up once again. Excuse me if I said 14th position. I meant 13th for Burnley. In our 12th spot, I'm going to go with Fulham. Fulham haven't really lost much, but they haven't gained too much either. They've got a backup striker in Raul Jimenez now to help out with Mitrovic, who I think might be serving a ban at the beginning of this season. I think that'll be fine. I think, obviously, they've managed to keep João Palhinha. I'm pretty sure. I don't think I've seen him move. If I am mistaken, that might look really bad on me here. They kept Bernd Leno, who's been an excellent keeper for them as well. I just see Fulham finishing mid-table. I think that's really all there is to say to it. Solid season for them. Crystal Palace, I see finishing in 11th. I probably should have placed them a little bit lower. I think that there's just enough to put them around mid-table position still. I don't see them being worse than any of those teams below them. The only one I would argue right now is Fulham, but I just think Crystal Palace edge it out. I don't know why. I just think Crystal Palace will, and so that's why I've obviously picked them to finish 11th position. As for the 10 spot, we're going to go with Brentford. I've got them 9th. I think that Brentford will do a solid job this season. Again, Ivan Toney ban could hurt them, could keep them out of European competition conversations again. And I just think that Brentford are just building a very good mid-table side right now. I think they just need a little bit more investment just to get over the edge. I think they're building a very good squad. If they could just get to a few of those players before Brighton do, they'd be dead set in those positions. Coming in at 9th, we're going with Tottenham. I think Tottenham are going to have an off season again. I think Harry Kane could move by the end of this week. Depending on when this video comes out, he may have already moved. The video's coming out Friday morning before the match. Well, morning here in the U.S. It may be afternoon by then. I can't remember. I think the match starts at 3, so I may actually just upload it at 1 o'clock U.S. time, just a few hours before the game. But it will be coming out Friday. But I do see Tottenham finishing 9th position, and Harry Kane may already have been on the move by then. The last team missing out on European football is going to be Brighton. I don't see Brighton working their way into Europe this season, just because I could see Caicedo on the move. I think they're building still a very good squad. They're now playing on two different fronts. Obviously, well, they're adding in Europe. They've obviously got the cups as well, but the cups you've got and the league they've obviously used to at this point. However, I do see adding in a situation like European football like they have this season. I do think it could be an issue in the future, and that's why I've got them finishing where they're finishing. Finishing in that 7th spot, though, for me is Chelsea, a team that doesn't have any European football to worry about this season, but still has a project that needs to be worked on, and that's why I've got them finishing in the 7th spot. I just don't see them finishing anywhere above that. I don't see them finishing anywhere below that, but I do have them in that 7th spot. As for the team to finish in the Europa League spot, first we've got Aston Villa. I think Villa has had an excellent window as well. I think they brought in Pau Torres, a player that they needed. They've got solid players that they can rely on, reliable Premier League players, as well as new players that Unai Emery has been able to rely on over his course as a manager. I just think going forward, this Aston Villa team has a chance to build into a top 6 side as well. Coming in at our 5th spot, I'm going with Manchester United. Missing out on Champions League football might be a hot take. You can see my top 4 there in front of you. I think that Manchester United just miss out. I don't think their signings have been impressive enough. I think they've regressed this season, their second season under Erik ten Hag. I don't see them improving much more than they did on their cup run, especially a team that focused on the cups last season in Manchester United. I see them doing the same thing again. And obviously now they've got Champions League football rather than Europa League football. Coming into that 4th spot, the first team to get Champions League football is going to be Newcastle United. Obviously, they are fighting Champions League football as well. I just think that they've got more investment, more going for them than maybe a Manchester United or a Villa, and they've got that investment that really allows them to compete on all those fronts and be able to win on all those fronts. And that's why I've got Newcastle United finishing in a Champions League spot for me. In that 3 spot, team that had a very down year, in my opinion, last year, Liverpool. I think Darwin Núñez has a better season. I think that if they're injury-free, I think they'll be much better defensively. I do think their midfield is going to be better, especially if they get Romeo Lavia. I think that's a must-buy for Liverpool this season. He's probably the closest thing they'll have to a 6 at this point. As for the rest of the team, you've got McAllister. You've got, who I think is an average signing, Dominic Szoboszlai, I believe is how you say it. I'm probably completely butchered his name, from Leipzig. but I think he's going to be a very good signing. I don't think McAllister's going to be a good signing. I think Lavia would be an excellent signing. I think Darwin Núñez will be much better than he was last year, but I do also see Gakpo performing, and so it'll be a very interesting thing to see how Liverpool's attack looks this season, how their whole team sets up this season, especially with the lack of a six since Fabinho and Henderson have moved on. So we'll just have to see how the season goes for Liverpool. Lastly, our top two. Again, I see Arsenal and City finishing in those top two spots. I'm not sure who, you could pick either team maybe. I think Arsenal's got the reinforcements they need this year. Maybe not as quality of a starting 11 as City have at the moment. They don't have a De Bruyne, they have an Odegaard instead, and they definitely don't have a Haaland anywhere up top at the moment. But Saliba did an excellent job in the Community Shield, kind of managing Haaland, who eventually got subbed off. But I think that was a playing substitute regardless, so I'm not looking into that too much. But I do think that City still win the league. I think that they finish top, and Arsenal, you're going to be finishing second in the league. That's my picks. Despite being an Arsenal fan, as you can see here, I do think we'll finish second. I think that obviously adding in Champions League, it's going to be a whole different monster for us. All the pressure is going to be on City, however. They just won the treble. Are they going to be able to repeat it? Are they going to get 4 in a row? There's going to be a lot of pressure on City. There's going to be a lot of pressure on Arsenal and some of their new signings as well. I think both teams are going to compete very well, and I'm just looking forward to this Premier League season. I'll be out with a video later in the next week or two, hopefully next week, talking about Premier League awards, award winners that I think, your young player of the year, your player of the year, so on and so forth. We did them at the end of the season, so if you kind of want to know what I'm going to kind of pick as my potential signing of the season, things like that, you can go back to the last video and check that, or not last video, a video that I did similarly a few months back at this point. But anyways, I'll see you guys in the next one. Leave a like, comment down below what you'd like to see in the future. Hit the subscribe button so you never miss another one. Peace.